couldn't help myself anyway.
Yeah.
Look, the illegal immigrant situation in the US is getting somewhat out of hand for some residents of that country, where reports of misdeeds is exacerbating the locals.
Mm.
In Springfield, Ohio, in a town with a population of only 40,000 inhabitants, they woke up to find their numbers swell by another 20,000,
Mm.
uh, mainly Haitians, mainly from Haiti.
Yeah.
And they moved into this into this town.
Yeah.
Uh, Popular reports, what the people are saying, right?
Mm.
That the immigrants are catching the local ducks and geese from the park,
Mm.
and in some cases, family pets to kill them and eat them. Uh, the cats, and mainly the cats, apparently.
Mm.
They had a council residents meeting recently so that the residents of the town could air their concerns, including illegals, they said, flipping cars, rolling cars,
Mm.
running people off the road, and like I said, in this theft and slaughter of the local wildlife and domestic animals for food.
Mm.
Now, uh, in in Haiti, apparently cat is thought to be somewhat of a delicacy, eaten once a year on December the 24th
Mm.
in a festa, if you like,
Mm.
called Réveillon, and by only by a small group of people from the rural areas. It's more of a traditional thing,
Mm.
the backwoods where they
Yeah.
do this. And on the 24th, they eat a cat. Apparently, the cat tastes somewhat like chicken.
Right.
Why they just wouldn't get a chicken, I don't know. But anyway, apparently that's what the
Mm.
Haitian culture is. It's a little bit like the those Asian countries that eat dogs.
Mm.
That once a year they have a
Yeah.
dog fest, and they eat dogs. Unofficial reports by state law enforcement confirm this.
Mm.
However, city manager Brian Heck claims that no credible formal complaint has been submitted to the council. However, it needs to be said that the fact that no formal channel was used to report things doesn't mean to say that the problems aren't happening.
Yeah.
Now, I saw a little small documentary by an independent journalist, in other
Mm.
words, a YouTuber,
Yeah.
and he went to this town and he was chatted to some of the Haitians and he chatted to the local townsfolk,
Mm.
and the townsfolk are really up in arms because of all these people flooding in
Mm.
that aren't speaking English. They complain more about the fact that these people coming in are getting, they say like $2,000 a month on a card,
Mm.
and they get the rent paid for them and things like this, and they think it's unfair when uh, the vets are being turfed out of houses
Mm.
and can't afford to live. So basically, it's a small town
Yeah.
invaded by a lot of outsiders all at the
Mm.
same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't speak English that the people can't understand. Right, and
Mm.
so these rumors and stories have been flowing about. It's a little bit like what we used to do in the UK when you got a Chinese chip shop,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
said they're sticking cats and dogs
Yeah.
in the like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So um, although, like I said, this guy, this Brian Heck, he says he's not heard any official,
Mm.
you know, but they had, what I find interesting is they had a council residents meeting.
Mm.
That's where the residents go to the council
Yeah.
and air their views.
Yeah.
And apparently it was all hearsay what they were saying.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah.
and you look at it that way, or you can say, there's no smoke without fire.
Mm.
It could be just fear of having a load of people all of a sudden come into your community.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, 1 in 3 people is a Haitian,
Mm.
you know.
That's well.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't, if you don't feel threatened by that, if and you're a little old lady in the middle of nowhere
Mm.
that's stayed in your ways, it's very stayed in your ways,
Yeah.
then, and especially if they're crashing cars a lot. I mean, they do crash
Yeah.
cars a lot because in Haiti, uh, the way you drive is very different
Oh
than
yeah.
like in the US, for example. They stay on
Yeah.
the road.
Mm.
When they stay on the road, and
Yeah.
apparently they don't.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
from what these town folks have seen, they don't. So across in Aurora,
Mm.
Colorado, uh, Venezuelan the Venezuelan gang, the
Mm.
trained Yaragua, it's taken over housing stock,
Mm.
and the gang's being tied to gang-related shootouts by the local. The locals are complaining they're involved in
Mm.
these shootouts, and the neighbors are having to scatter and run back to their houses. Interestingly, on the same day of the Springfield, Ohio city manager claiming they're illegal immigrants are causing no ill will,
Mm.
and coincidentally with the presidential debate between Trump and Harris,
Mm.
the Aurora police chief claims that there are no gangs taking over tenement blocks in spite of videos showing the country,
Mm.
widely available on the internet.
Yeah.
So I suspect that this thing about the Haitians and the city manager
Mm.
saying no, there's nothing to see here, move on,
Yeah.
and the police chief in Aurora, Colorado, saying there's nothing to see here, move on.
Yeah.
This was done on the morning of the two things were done on the same day, on the
Yeah.
morning of the before the debate between
Yeah.
Trump and Harris.
Yes.
Basically, it would be taken away a talking point from him,
Mm.
Trump,
Yeah.
complaining what the situation with illegal immigrants is in the US. So much so that when he mentioned the eating cats and dogs,
Yeah.
the moderator said that he said, no, no, we got message from
Yeah.
this manager, and
Mm.
that's just not true. That's just not true. You know, uh,
Mm.
and the, the debate between Trump and Harris and the moderators, we could that'll take another podcast, but I can't be bothered to do that one because everybody else is doing it, and
Oh, yeah.
everybody's
It's
speaking about the everybody's speaking about the everybody's speaking about
the debate. Yeah. It was a bit. Yes. It was interesting. I don't think I learned anything from it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So over in Europe, coming to Europe now,
Mm.
uh, after Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban, threatened to send all illegal immigrants to Brussels in response to Hungary being ordered by the EU to open its borders and take in their fair share
Mm. Yeah.
of illegal immigrants. Uh, in a surprising move, Germany have decided to put checks on their borders.
Mm.
Okay? They say that they can't take any more immigration. They can't.
Mm. Yeah.
It's costing far too much. They're unruly. They break
Yeah.
the law. They're molesting the ladies, German ladies,
Yeah.
rather them than me.
Well, yeah. Yes.
Let's say that.
Yes.
But I think that this could be the beginning of the end of the Schengen zone in
Mm.
because normally it's Germany that's the policy leader.
Yeah.
You know, it's anything that happens in Europe needs to have
Mm.
the permission, if you
Yeah.
like, Germany, because Germany was the highest economy, its biggest economy, most
Yeah.
important, was the most important economy.
Yeah. Germany. Yeah. Yeah. So,
So, like I said, Viktor Orban is going to send all his illegal immigrants to Brussels, so that they can sort it out.
mm.
You know,
Yeah.
over to you.
Right. Yes. Very, very interesting. Yeah. I mean, I saw the videos of the Haitian gangs obviously taking, yeah, allegedly taking over the tenant blocks. I mean, it's always difficult to know. I mean, it'd be a difficult thing to stage unless you're a Hollywood producer, maybe. Well, I mean, we can do anything now. I mean, yeah, it could be here. I could film some people running into a place in Brazil and say it's US, because we have tenant halls that are very similar to the US. Admittedly, I'm only playing devil's advocate here. I'm not saying it's true or not true. Um, yeah, but the fact is, it's been run on a few major broadcasters of note, whom you would hope have done some background checks or stated otherwise. It's alleged. Yeah. Um, Normally, when a major broadcaster says it's alleged, it means they think there's a ring of truth or absolutely spot on when they say it. Yes. And that's what journalism should be. We've heard this. This is what it is. We've checked out the facts as far as we can tell. This is the facts. Yeah. You need collaboration, but yeah, I'm not going to tell journalists how to do their job. Even I learned basic journalism when I was 14 at school. So it is it's always going to be difficult to integrate people, whatever you may think or not feel. It can work. I mean, when you're suddenly thrust upon a town, the people having their own lives and everything else, and we're not revolutionaries. We don't want change. When people say there should be a revolution across the world now, no, none of us want change. We're happy moaning about our life as it is. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't deserving cases of people being prosecuted or other places in the world, and yeah, other sad things happening, unfortunately. And we know that. But there does seem a big influx of people and then being foisted upon local populations. It is a case of, yes, but you and I both know, when you move to another country, we've said this many times, you accept and adopt, or don't always adopt, but you accept the local way of life in the country that you're in. Yeah, okay, we're here out of choice. We're not, yeah. And this is what these people don't always understand. And if they are going around stealing cats and things, which I've read on the internet a little bit more, people that have claimed that they found collars in places of the cats. Yeah, they're suspicious. Well, maybe the police should be informed that there's a suspicion of it. When the guy says there isn't any official reports, it probably means none confirmed. I don't know what the wording is. Yeah. Yes, the news guy was, or the moderator the other night was very quick to challenge President Trump on that as well. I don't see it as fact checking. I saw it as challenging, and that's what journalists should be doing, not fact checking, challenging. Where did you get this information?
So
Yeah,
basically, if he said that, where
yeah,
did you get the information from?
yeah,
I could understand it,
yeah,
but he didn't.
yeah,
He said, according to us, you're wrong.
yeah,
So basically, he called Trump a liar,
yeah.
and a moderator can't do that.
No, well, I thought it was a very bad debate. I don't care about
Well,
Harris. Yeah, I don't care about Vice President Harris. I respect her position, but yeah, I thought the moderators were particularly bad. But anyway, we're not going to do that. Yeah, but when you start putting people into an environment that's not theirs, and then expecting people already in that environment to accept it, you're going to ask for problems. Um, you can actually consult and say, well, this is what it is, even have some meetings between the people. Yeah. Almost acceptance meetings, see how it will work, you know. It's a
You know,
yeah.
sorry, I think in these cases, uh, we're not talking about, one or two problem neighbours.
Mm. Yeah.
We're talking about 50%
Yeah.
increase in the town's population,
Yeah,
uh,
that's what I'm
bas
trying to.
basically overnight.
Mm.
And that is very, very difficult
Mm.
to manage. It's very
Yeah.
difficult, and it's very difficult to consolidate in my view.
Well.
And when the question, the whole object of these stories I'm telling you,
Mm.
including Germany, including
Yeah.
Hungary, right,
Yeah.
is eventually the government's going to have to say stop,
Yeah.
stop. We can't take any more.
Well, the US works in a different way from Europe. In that, you talk about states, which are mini countries, effectively what we have in Brazil, as opposed to in Europe, we have districts that are still federally controlled from a central point. Um, it's a little bit like DeSantis busing people elsewhere from Florida,
Yeah, of course.
and he said enough's enough. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, Orban of Hungary, that's what he's doing. Yeah. I've just reminded of a story from the UK, funny enough, a bit close to home, but of Thetford, where some Portuguese people one day around Christmas decided to catch one of the local swans and have it for Christmas dinner,
Right.
which is illegal. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I think every queen, every swan is owned by the queen or the crown at the time. Yeah, it's the queen at the time, the crown, as far as I know. And yeah. Anyway, these these guys got off, but they claimed they didn't know the laws. Yeah, didn't know they were not allowed to do it. Yeah, it's still a crime, whatever. But yeah, still stealing somebody's property. So I told a Brazilian the story, and I said, but I could. And they said, well, that's bad. I said, well, I could imagine a Brazilian doing that. They said, oh, the difference is a Portuguese person will do it because they're not intelligent and stupid. A Brazilian will do it because we're devious. So that made it all right. Yeah. Yeah. Now I don't know about if cats and animals are being eaten. It's sad if they are. It shouldn't be happening. It does need to be investigated. There's been an allegation made. Um, it's probably very difficult with police resources. They've suddenly got a 50% increase in population, and to go around looking for Tibby because he's gone missing. Cats go missing all the time and turn up 3 days later. Um, it And that does happen. I mean, and it's throughout history where you've suddenly got an immigrant population arrive somewhere. There's all sorts of stories arrive. I mean, it was even in medieval times and before about eating babies and eating children and casting spells and all sorts of things. So this type of thing isn't new.
This coming back to Springfield in
Yeah.
Ohio, and this documentary I saw.
Mm.
Once again, it's by a YouTuber, you know.
Yeah.
But there arose a story of a lady who lives at the end of the street. The crazy cat lady.
Oh yes. Yeah.
But look, apparently she had 50 cats,
Yeah.
and she was known as the cat lady.
Mm.
And apparently now she's only got five. So, but I mean that could be a fable.
Yeah.
That could be a fable. Like I said, we're talking about the Chinese chippy
Yeah.
serving serving cats on the kebabs and
Oh,
stuff like that.
my question to CNN is why aren't they down there investigating it? Where's
Well,
MSBNC?
that's interesting because
Yeah.
the local news went there,
Mm.
and of course they have to. It's local.
Yeah.
It's local.
Yeah.
And some people were saying, "Yeah, it's true." The locals,
Mm.
but nobody has taken a photograph
Mm.
of the,
Well,
and so I don't know if it's a case of Chinese whispers,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, with all CCTV around, it wouldn't be difficult to see somebody picking up a cat or carrying a cat somewhere and whatever. I mean, yeah. But again, this is all part of when you foist other populations on other populations. They're not going to integrate. It's not going to happen overnight, as, as it were.
especially
Uh,
especially in places like Springfield, Ohio,
well, yeah,
because it's a very small community.
mm,
As for CCTV, I think one camera would probably cover the whole place. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, down the
so
street, yeah,
small, so small.
yeah,
Uh, and like I said, the people, really traditional American rural
yeah,
people, um, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I think only time is going to tell.
yeah,
Time will. This reporter.
mm,
He spoke to some Haitians as well,
yeah.
and he's true. You're eating cats, and the Haitians were just laughing at him, saying, "Don't be silly."
No, I mean, yeah, I do think, but the problem is these stories start the rights and wrongs of having these of people moving in, and the next step is if something does happen or go off, it's vigilantism can get involved, other things, and people might just kill for their sorry, people might take assertive action if they feel members of their family and a cat and a dog and everything is members of their family. So some poor bugger's going to go up and try and pet a cat or something. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, so the authorities have got to deal with it on that level as well. That doesn't mean persecuting or criticising the local population. There does seem to be a lack of understanding with either deliberately or lack of sympathy from authorities with regards to local indigenous populations as well. Not everyone's a racist. Not everyone's a probably doesn't even not want to welcome these people. Would probably want to help if they could. Some people might. It's always interesting that the protesters or the majority of protesters who seem to be saying we're welcome and all that are shipped in from somewhere else. You know, NIMBY's not in my backyard, but I don't mind the guy down the road having the problem, as it were. Yeah, it is frustrating in Europe. And again, I agree with you. Germany closed their borders and they're now talking about putting in the Rwanda plan. So, yeah.
I would, it would be interesting in that case. It'd be interesting to know what the European Court of Human Rights would say about it.
Well, apparently they haven't said anything yet. I don't know. I
No,
mean,
well, because they haven't tried to implement it. They've
yeah.
said that they're thinking about it.
Mm.
But one of the biggest setbacks for the UK was the European Court of Human Rights.
Well, if that happens,
I,
then yeah, yeah,
I imagine that it'll be the same thing for Germany.
that'll be interesting. I'll get my popcorn ready for that one.